Greetings and salutations. I've been cleaning my new pipe. Still got a little bit of taste of wax on that stuff. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I wanted you guys to witness my first puff on my Peterson. This is actually my first puff of the whole day because I got so excited. Getting it clean and ready. I haven't even smoked today. There is such a difference between a cheap dime store $10 pipe Okay. This video, hopefully I've calmed down from my last one. Spirits got in me on that one, but woo! I don't know what was going on there. I actually had to go back and watch the video because I honestly didn't even know what I said. I was actually talking about this with my husband last night, and I guess people call it, have names for it. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Some people might call it divination or being psychic or clairvoyant, or I don't know what you would call it, but I just know shit. Okay, I always have since I was born. I explained to you guys in a previous video, I did my first work at the age of 9. I don't even know how I knew that shit to do what I did. I just know shit. It just comes to me, and I don't even know how I know it. And I never ever have considered myself any kind of psychic, or especially not good at divination. The only divination that I can do that is usually really accurate is runes. I read runes. But I have to get another reading done because there's so much going on, and I know I have so many spirits with me. I don't know, man. They just put the shit in my head, you know? And especially if you start hearing Loa and stuff like that, you don't hear it in your ears. It's not like someone talking in your ear, talking. You hear it in your head. It's like telepathy. You hear a voice, and it's not your voice. For instance, when Papa Legba talks to me, he has an accent. Okay, his voice is very distinct, and I know that it's not my thoughts. Okay, but sometimes I just know shit, you know, and I don't even know how I know this shit. I just know it, and it's right. Almost all the time. Some girl in one of the groups last night posted a picture of herself and just asked for a reading on the picture and what they were feeling from her, and I don't know why, but I told her that immediately when I seen the picture, I seen vitamin deficiencies. Okay, she's very sick, and she has some kind of vitamin deficiency, which I totally didn't dawn, I didn't even get the thought of the thyroid, but someone else came in and said that, and that was right too. But the vitamin deficiency, and then I also said, I felt a digestive disorder in her, and I was right. I don't know how I was right. I have no idea how I knew that. It's just what I felt when I saw the picture. So sometimes I just know shit, you know, and I don't know how I know the shit. I just know it, and it's crazy. This is how people get put in mental hospitals and shit. It's fucking really crazy, you know? But to just know shit, and you don't know how you know the shit. Like I said, I've never called myself any kind of psychic or clairvoyant, or I never thought I had that gift, but apparently either I do, or the stronger my spirits are with me, I'm like, that's coming through me. Like, their intelligence and knowledge and what they know is like coming through me, because they know it, I know it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody can help me out with this. I don't know how I know the shit. Anyway, that was totally off topic. It just, and like I always said, you can't have an ego about it, man, because it's not you. It's your fucking spirits. So even when that girl came back on her post today and said I was right, and that this other poster that mentioned the thyroid was right, and I didn't even think of thyroid, because thyroid overlaps a lot with vitamin deficiencies as well as digestive disorders. If you have a digestive disorder, your stomach is not processing your food correctly, you're not absorbing your vitamins or your nutrients, and you get vitamin deficiency. So, I mean, those are linked, but the thyroid is also linked with that. But I didn't get that, but somebody else got it. Okay, but when she came back and was like, you're right, you know, I was in the hospital a couple months ago for severe stomach problems and this and that, I was like, wow, I was right. Like, how did that happen? How did I even know that? Like, and I'm not like, holy shit, I'm so fucking awesome, I'm right, you know, oh, I got it, because it wasn't me. I don't know how I knew that. Somebody told me that, okay? I don't understand how people have an ego about this. I mean, it made me feel good that I was right, because that's letting me know that I might kind of have this ability that I never considered myself having. You know, and there's other situations like that too where I've been right about stuff, and I'm like, wow, how did I hit that? How did, you know, I don't know. This video, that was way off topic, sorry guys. This video, I love this, man. This is my first P-lip. You see, the stem has a hole on the top. Okay, this is called a P-lip stem, and this makes the smoke hits the top of your mouth, your palate, instead of your tongue, like a fishtail. This is a fishtail. I'm teaching some pipe knowledge today. Look at that. This is a fishtail. Okay, see, it's flat, and the opening is on the tip, and it's flat and looks like a fishtail. This is a P-lip, and what does that look like to you? Why is it called a P-lip? It's actually called a P-lip because these P-lip pipes are made by a company called Peterson. And they're the only company that makes the tip like this with the hole on the top. Okay, and that's why it's called a P-lip, not because it resembles an organ that begins with the letter P. I mean, it really does. Look at it. I don't know. Maybe there is some hidden symbolism in that, like people in there putting that in their mouth, you know. I don't know, sorry, going off topic again. Okay, I don't know what's got into me today, boy. Spirits are in me, they're in my body, hallelujah, woo. I'm usually not this crazy, guys. I don't know what's in me today. This video was supposed to be about working with both hands. Okay, and you guys, I know you guys are watching my videos and you subscribe to my channel. This is sterling silver, by the way. This band is sterling silver. I polished it up. Look at it shining. It was all like corroded. Get distracted again. I might have ADD. I've never been diagnosed with that, but since I've been doing these videos, I notice it a lot. Like, I get distracted. But these videos are really hard, guys. It's hard to sit here and like talk and get the words right. And then when every single time I'm done with a video and I upload it, I'm like, oh shit, I should have said that. I forgot to go into this. You always think about shit you should have said after you upload it. I mean, this is hard. This video shit is hard. Okay, it's not easy. And I don't do it because I enjoy it. I do it to help people. Man, that is nice. God. Don't ever ask why some pipes are really expensive. I actually got this really cheap because it was in terrible shape. I posted pictures of it on my Facebook when I got it. It was in really bad, like, condition. When I got it, it was corroded, and the stem was messed up, and the pipe was caked, and actually, when I pulled the stem out, it's actually broke down in there, but it doesn't affect the way it's smoking, so that's fine. I actually got this really cheap for a Peterson pipe. But so I've seen pipes going for like $1,600. Don't ask why, because they're worth it. The craftsmanship, this is an art form, okay? Just like any other art form, and the better an artist you are, the more expensive your art is, right? In anything, and same with pipes. So this video is supposed to be about working with both hands, and I know you guys can go back and watch my videos, and as I said, I'm doing these videos to try and teach some people and try and help some people. And I'm always squinting when I'm over on this side, because this light is like right in my face so you can see me. So I'm like, I look like I'm stoned or something, but I'm not. I actually don't do any drugs. I don't even drink alcohol. So that's not what it is, guys. It's the light right in my face, and my eyes are really light sensitive. So yeah, this video is about supposed to be about working with both hands. Now, this is a terminology that mainly pertains to root workers and conjurers, but it can pertain to any kind of practice or witchcraft or whatever you want to say you're doing. Working with both hands simply means the balance. Okay, and I've gone over the balance 100 times. For good, there's bad. For light, there's dark. For wicked, there's trueness. For lies, there's truth. It's all balance, okay? And in my opinion, to be a balanced worker, you need to work with both hands, okay? And working with both hands simply means you do good benevolent stuff, like healing and protection and cleansing and love work and all this good, stuff. And then your left hand is traditionally for more malevolent kind of work, like cursing and hexing and breakups and cutting cords and souring and that kind of stuff is like your left hand. And there's a difference between the hands. Your left hand is for malevolent kind of stuff. Your right hand is for like beneficial kind of stuff. So yeah, and to be a practitioner, to be a root worker, to be a conjurer, you really need to work with both hands. And I don't want anyone going back and watching my videos because I'm doing them to teach and help people. I don't want anyone to think that I'm a love and light fluffy bunny. Bullshit. Okay, that is way off. I definitely do work with my left hand when it's called for, when it's for balance, and when it's for justice. This left hand will get to work. Okay? Don't ever think that of me. And we have a saying in conjure. The saying is, in order to cure, you have to know how to curse. Okay, so if someone is cursed with something, you have to know about that. You have to know what goes into it. You have to know how it's done in order to cure it. Okay? And it's the same thing. I mean, it can be said another way. In order to heal, you have to know how to hex. Okay? You have to know how to do the shit to know how to fix it. Alright, if you have no idea the logistics of it, how it's done, what's used in it, any of that, how you going to cure it? How you going to uncross it? How you going to unjinx it? Some people call it conditions. Like if someone is cursed or hexed or jinxed or something, they call it a condition. That's why a lot of old hoodoo works and oils and stuff are called condition oils. Okay, you had a condition put on you. What condition is he in? And you have to know all about that condition to be able to remove it and fix it. Okay, and I am more than willing to bring this left hand out if I see injustice. If I see injustice and some bullshit going on, I will balance that shit out, okay? And that's the left hand. So, don't anybody ever think that I'm all love and light, fluffy bunny, harm none, threefold, crap, karma. That's not me. So, god damn it, there was something else I wanted to talk about too. Hold on. And let me also say that these practitioners that are all harm none, rebound. I mean, there is a rebound, that's a balance, but like a threefold, thing coming, whatever you do, what's, I don't even know the read or whatever it's called, but they say like whatever you do, whatever you throw out comes back to you times 3. So if you're throwing bad shit out, you're going to get 3 times the bad shit back. If you're throwing good shit out, you're going to get 3 times the good shit back. I don't believe in any of that. Okay. My husband actually said this yesterday, because I did the video on why is it easier to be bad and do bad things than it is to do good things. And the way I look at it is like, doing good is hard because it's elevating you, okay? It's elevating your spirit and the spirits that are with you. So it's like climbing a mountain, okay? Climbing a mountain and getting up there is like hard. That is hard work. It's hard to do. You need stamina. You need all this shit to climb the mountain, and it's really hard. But when you get to the top of the mountain, the view makes it all worth it. Makes it worth all that work. And the people that just do bad shit all the time, it's easy. Because that's the easy road. Okay, you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not elevating. You're pretty much just self-serving and fuck everybody else and everything else. You're just selfish, basically. They're not climbing a mountain. They're not elevating. They're not working to better anything. They're just fucking shit up. So that's easy. But my husband kind of said, when we were having this discussion yesterday, that he sees it as like a circle. Okay, like you start here and you do a good deed. Okay, and you're going around a circle and you do a good deed. And then you like do a good deed, and then you do a good deed, and when you come around to where you started, you're running into the good deeds. So if you're doing good, then you're going to run into good. It's like a circle. Like good will come to you. And it's the same thing with bad. If you're doing bad, you're going to be surrounded with bad people and bad shit, and your life's going to be bad. That's a pretty good analogy. You could also use the analogy of like attracts like. So like if you're doing justified works and works for balance, and this includes working with your left hand. Okay, doing justified and balance and all that does not mean love and light, fluffy bunny, I'm only going to heal and cleanse and do good things. This includes working with your left hands. That's how you make the balance, okay? Balance. So, like attracts like. If you're working that way and you're working for balance and what you do is justified, then you're going to attract that to you. Okay? And your life will be balanced, and your spirits will be balanced, and everything will be like that. If you're just going out fucking shit up, and throwing hexes and curses and being a bad person and doing bad shit and robbing people and this and that, you're going to attract that to you. Now, my husband, we were discussing this because before I met him, he was a pretty bad guy. Okay, he did a lot of bad shit. And I posed the question to him after I did the video before he even watched it. Because he always used to say, because like now he's not doing bad shit anymore. He's trying to do justified and right things. And he always tells me how hard it is, you know. He's like, my life was so much easier when I was doing bad shit all the time. So I asked him, you know, I was like, well, so you're telling me your life was easier when you're doing bad shit than when you're doing good shit. I said, but, didn't you ever pay for it? You know, didn't you ever pay for the bad shit you did? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I lived it. You know, he's like, my life was horrible. I had horrible people around me. Horrible things happened to me. Horrible people happened to the ones I loved. Just bad shit was around me all the time because that's all I was doing and that's all I was attracting was bad shit. Okay, so people don't think because taking the easy road is easier, that it's easier to be bad than to do good, or if that's the way you want to put it. I'm just trying to put it in a terminology that most people are going to be able to understand. Okay, this wouldn't be what I personally would say, but then you're going to attract that. Okay, you're doing bad shit, you're going to attract bad shit. You're going to attract bad people and bad situations, and bad things are going to happen. And my husband actually said, you know, if he wouldn't have met me, and see, we balance each other out. We 100% balance each other out, and that's why we work so good, you know. Like, one of us will be really bad with money, and the other one's really thrifty. If one of us is acting crazy and going off on a rant, the other one will be the voice of reason and bring them back. We balance each other out very good. And he actually said, you know, if he wouldn't have met me, he probably wouldn't be alive right now. Because he was into some, like, really bad shit. So, I don't know. Maybe that'll shed a little more light on that previous video about why is it so hard to do the right thing. There was something else I rewatched the video and there was like something I wanted to add to it, and now I can't remember what I wanted to say. It was something along the lines of how we are held to a higher standard. I said that in the video because we are workers and we're so close to the spirits. We're held to a higher standard. We're expected to know better. And there was something I wanted to add to that, and now I can't remember what it was. Okay, since I can't remember what it was, I'm just going to add onto this, since I said I've never done a video addressing ancestor altars, because there are tons of YouTube videos on ancestor altars. There's tons of information on Google, online, about ancestor altars, but somehow, I don't even know why I'm going to bother doing it, because obviously nobody's doing their research. They're just going into Facebook groups and asking questions instead of doing their own research, and they're getting bullshit. And you know what? I'm starting to get in the frame of mind that, like, if that's what you want to do, if that's your fucking way, you just want to try and take the easy way and not do your own research and just go in groups and ask people, random fucking people, their fucking opinions, where your enemies are in there and they're gonna give you bad shit and they're gonna fuck with you. Or people just don't have no fucking clue what they're doing. Then that's just gonna be it. Because I'm making these videos and nobody's gonna watch them. Because they don't, obviously, do the research. There's 100 million videos on YouTube about ancestor altars. There's 100 million pages on Google about ancestor altars. But yet, people are in these groups making fucked up ancestor altars. And then they're posting them and asking dumb questions. And all they have to do, I don't understand, because that's the easy road. The easy road is Google. Google, type it in. There's your fucking answers. Read it. I don't know why people are relying on social media. Can someone help me? Can someone help me understand why everyone's relying on social media and not such a simple thing as just type it in a search bar and do their own research? Why would you value someone else's opinion, who you don't know, who could be a troll in the group, who could be an enemy giving you fucked up shit, who could be a newbie that just started a week ago? Why would you want their opinion, and why would you value that more than doing your own research? And that way is the easier way. Typing in a search, bringing up a page, and just reading about it is easier than making a post in a social media group and waiting for answers to come to you, when you could just type it in and you have answers. Okay? Someone explain to me why. Is it like this new generation? What am I not understanding? Because I don't get it. So let me tell a little bit about ancestor altars, okay? Everyone's ancestor altar is going to be different, but there are rules. Just like in anything else, there are rules, okay? Generally speaking, if you are first setting up your ancestor altar, you're going to want everything to be white. Okay, you want a white altar cloth. You want white bowl, okay, to put offerings in. You want a white plate for serving a meal or something. Everything should be white, okay? And these are the things you're going to want, okay? You're going to want an altar cloth. You're going to want a bowl. You're going to want a plate, and make sure your bowl and your plate, and this goes for any spirit altar, or even a working altar, anything you're doing is not something you're going to want to reuse and eat off of yourself. So, like, your spirits should have their own set of dishes that are only theirs. Like, you don't eat and drink out of those things. If you're doing a work, you know, and you have your plates that you do your candles on or whatever, you're not going to eat off of those plates. Okay, those plates are only for that stuff. Okay, so make sure they have their own shit, and you're going to want them to be white. Okay, the only time we put colors, like bright colors, or decorate the altars like that, an ancestor altar like that, is if it's a special occasion, like someone's birthday, and you're remembering them, you know, so you might want to, like, dress it up a little bit for their birthday, like you do your house. If you're throwing a birthday party, you decorate it, you know, and you dress it up a little bit. You want to do the same thing for your ancestors. If it's, you know, a holiday that they celebrated, like Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, I gave them some red roses. I don't ever give them red roses. I always give them white. Unless it's spring or something, maybe because my grandmother loved, that's personal shit. Like, you gotta do what they liked, okay? So, example, my grandmother, like, loved, like, lilacs and hyacinths and purple ones specifically. So, when those come in bloom, I will give those, you know, I will put those on my ancestor altar for her because she loved them. But, like, any other time of year around, you know, around the holidays, Christmas and that, I'll put some brightly colored, Christmassy colored, you know, flowers in the vase or something, you know, decorate it up a little bit for the holidays and celebrate with them. Celebrate with them. They're still with you. Honor them. But, you know, if you're just starting out and traditionally for an everyday kind of thing, you want everything to be white. If it's not white, it should be clear. Like glasses. You're going to want glasses. Depending on how many ancestors you have, my general rule of thumb, I mean, some people say you should have a glass for each ancestor, but some of us have, like, a lot of ancestors, and we can't have, like, 10 glasses sitting there. Some can, some do that, but my ancestor altar isn't that big, so my general rule of thumb is, like, for two. Every 2 ancestors I have, they get a glass. Okay, so, and I seen someone, like, did an ancestor altar, and it was packed. Like, they had tons of photos on there, and they only had like 1 glass of water for all of them. When you have a lot of ancestors going on in there, you want at least a couple glasses of water. You don't want them all to like fight over that 1 glass, okay? And the more water you have on there, the better the communication. Water is a conduit between the spirit. Okay, that's why they like, even like Christianity and like all kinds of different religions and practices use water. And they baptize you, and they do. Lots of religions have the conduit of water. Water is a spirit conduit. That is like a universal law. So the more water you have on your altars, the better the connection's going to be. Okay, so you want glasses, and the glasses should be like clear. After that, it's pretty much up to you. Now, it's pretty customary to offer coffee if your ancestors and your family and that drank coffee. Now, like some countries, like England or that, it's probably going to be tea or, something they drink. But a lot of countries drink coffee. And my ancestors drank coffee. And I have some that, like, drank straight black coffee. And then I have some that, liked it with a little bit of sugar, like a couple cubes. So I have 2 coffee cups on my altar. I have one which is straight black coffee, and then I have one with some sugar in it. Those are there for them, And again, the coffee mug should be plain white, unless you find something meaningful, like if it's your mother, your father, you might get them a coffee mug that says, like, #1 dad on it, or, something. I personally have one on there with the ribbon, the pink ribbon for cancer, because everyone I have on there has died of cancer that I know of. Like, in fact, everyone in my family since I've been born that has died of cancer. It's all been different kinds of cancer. Like, nobody died of the same cancer. Like, there's, like, someone died of lung cancer, someone died of stomach cancer, someone died of, like, throat cancer, like, but it's all cancer. So I have the pink ribbon on there, on one of the coffee mugs for cancer, because that's how they all died of cancer. So, like, you can do something like that, but it's still a white mug. It just has the pink ribbon on it, okay? And you must have at least 1 white candle. Sometimes I'll throw up more than 1 candle. Like right now, I have 2 going. But it's like a holiday, and it's Valentine's Day today. So I kind of did it up a little. I gave them a red rose, and with their white flowers, just kind of did it up a little bit, celebrate the holiday with them, And then most of us are also going to want some kind of alcohol, some kind of spirit, as in alcohol is called spirit for a reason. Alcohol is very connected with the spirits, and spirits love alcohol. Even if you don't know if any of your ancestors drank alcohol, you usually still want some kind of alcohol on there, because spirit, that gives them energy. Giving spirits feeds their spirit. Like, when I fill Papa Legba's glass, okay, he gets his spiced rum, and when I fill his glass, I always say, spirits for your spirit. Okay, spirits, as in alcohol, feed spirits. It's just kind of like the way it is. So, you probably want some kind of alcohol. Now, like me personally, I'm having an issue trying to figure out what kind of alcohol they want. They have not communicated with me that yet, but I might have figured it out. Now, the first alcohol I tried was red wine. And I know I have an ancestor on there. He is my great-grandfather. I don't even know his name. I just have a picture of him. And he's sitting at a table, and he has a glass in front of him. And I can't tell what's in the glass, but it's some kind of alcohol. And I know that my great-grandmother and great-grandfather actually owned a bar and a hotel. It was like a hotel with like a bar below it. So I know that they probably drank alcohol, but I have not been able to figure out what kind of alcohol they drank, and I've been like going through trying to figure out what they're wanting. I think they have communicated with me, but it's like brandy, and right now I cannot afford to get brandy and offer it. Like a small bottle of brandy is like $27. And I can't afford that right now. So I've been trying to like do some other things. And of course it's got to be like top of the line fine shit brandy that they want. Of course it's got to be that. So I first started out with like the red wine because I thought wine is kind of universal. Okay, like every country pretty much drinks wine. Red wine in particular is very symbolic of blood. Like they even do that in like Catholic churches, the blood of Christ, and they drink the wine and everything. So I got the red wine because I thought if anything that symbolizes blood, and your ancestors are your blood, they're your family, your bloodline, your DNA. They live in you, through you. So I thought, okay, you can't go wrong with red wine in many levels, It's like it symbolizes blood, it's very universal. They use it in like I said, in churches, and my ancestors that I know, like, there's many I don't know, but the ones that I know were like Christian. So I thought red wine would be like encompass like it all, and that would be suitable. They don't like the wine. And you'll notice when your spirits, you'll notice when they get active and if they're actually there. Because ancestors are different than Loa. Okay, and this is why a lot of people, I don't know why, because it's the most important. They're your blood, they're your family, they're your guardian angels, whatever you want to call them. Your ancestors are number one. They are most important. But a lot of people, for some reason, skip over the ancestors and they want to go right to deities like Loa and Orisha and I don't know, whatever gods or goddesses or whatever you're doing. Like people, for some reason, like go right to them and skip over the ancestors. And the only reason I can think of that is because even though you're connected with your ancestors by blood, you still have to build a relationship with them just like any other spirit. And a deity such as a Loa or an Orisha, like I kind of said earlier, you'll hear them. Okay, you'll actually like hear them in your head. Like you'll hear their thoughts. They will put thoughts in your. Sometimes they put in what they call earworms, where they'll like put a song in your head, and it's like something they want, and it'll like keep playing it over. Like yesterday, for example, Papa Legbo wanted a coconut, and I was like, the stores don't have coconut. I went to like 4 different stores yesterday, and I could not find a coconut. So after I left the last store, and I'm like, I'm sorry, there is no coconut. What can I do? He put that song in my head, the lime in the coconut. Put the lime in the coconut, shake it all up, and whatever. I don't know. I have had that song stuck in my head since last night, and it's not going anywhere until he gets his coconut. But I don't know. I can't find a coconut anywhere. So yeah, they'll communicate like that, but I think people skip over their ancestors because ancestors don't communicate that way, usually. Unless after a while, and a while, I mean like a long while, like after a year or so of honoring them and venerating them every day, you might start getting some things like that, like earworms and stuff from your ancestors. But ancestors and elevated spirits like Loa, Orisha, whatever, they communicate differently. The ancestors are much more subtle. Your ancestors will communicate different than mine, but it's kind of a known fact that the ancestor communication is much more subtle than like an elevated spirit like a Loa or an Orisha or anything along that line, which is kind of why I think people kind of skip over their ancestors, because they're not in tuned enough to pick up the communication from them when the other spirits communicate so clearly. See, a lot of people like skip that route, but you can't skip your ancestors. Your ancestors are the most important spirits before any god, before any goddess, before any other deity. Your ancestors are number one. Okay, so we're still talking about, so I was on the wine, and I said I think they want the brandy. I can't afford the brandy, but just out of, like, a whim, I thought I have, you know, a huge bottle of spiced rum for Papa Legba. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give them some, I tried other things too, like I tried beer. Because I know my grandmother, when I was very young, drank beer. My grandfather drank beer when I was very young. Now they stopped, because I was raised by my grandparents, okay, and once I, like, came into their life and they were, like, raising another child, they kind of stopped drinking and stuff. So I remember seeing it when I was very young, so I know they drank beer. My grandparents had a bar in their basement. Like, it was like a full bar with, like, a wet bar, like, with a sink and a refrigerator and, like, everything. It was a bar with bar stools and, like, a wall full of, like, alcohol and stuff. So I know they drank. So, just on a whim, like 2 days ago, I was like, you know what? I have this huge bottle of rum. Let me just give them some rum. Because I have the wine, you know, and I only gave it to them again because I had to, like, finish off the bottle. And I was like, you know what? It's representing blood. You don't have to drink it. This is just, you know, it represents our blood connection. That's why I'm putting it here. And then I tried the beer. They didn't like the beer either. So, like, I'm trying to figure out what kind of alcohol they want. And you're going to go through this with your ancestors. You got to figure out, because ancestors are not like other spirits where you can just Google or ask somebody, what is this spirit like for an offering? You either kind of got to know what they liked in life, or you got to kind of figure it out. So, the beer didn't work. So, the other day I gave them some rum, some spiced rum that I had for Papa, and they're liking the rum. They're definitely liking the rum. You will know they're active because your liquids will be drank. They will disappear. Okay? And this is how you know when they like something and they don't like something. Like, I have 2 glasses of water, and those glasses of water, like, I make sure when I fill everything, and fill them up tip top. Don't be stingy with the shit, okay? Fill your shit up. I would fill the glasses up, I fill them up to the tippy top, and the water glasses will go down. They go down very quickly, okay? And they go down more than, like, I have a cleansing glass of water over here with, like, alum and crystals and shit in it. That glass is still almost full. It's been there for, like, 2 months, okay? My ancestors' glasses go down in, like, 2 days. They're, like, less than half full. They're gone. But yet the wine and the beer is still really full. Like, they're not drinking it. So I gave them some rum, and that's going down pretty damn quickly. So I know they're liking the rum. Okay, and then for other shit, you know, it's just kind of what your ancestors liked. Like, if you know, like, example, I know my grandmother collected hummingbirds, and she loved hummingbirds, so I have, like, a little porcelain hummingbird on there. And my aunt collected penguins, so, like, I have a little penguin on there for her. If you have possessions of theirs that they had when they were alive, those are great for your altars. I wish I had some of that stuff. I probably will have it someday, but right now I don't have it. The only thing I have is my grandmother's wedding ring, which is actually now my wedding ring that I was married with on my grandmother's birthday to honor her. So, but I can't put this on my altar. So, if you have a possession of theirs, that's really good for your ancestor altar. If you don't, then you just give them things that you know they liked in life. Like, my grandmother liked hummingbirds, my aunt liked penguins. My grandmother always had lipstick with her. She was never, even on her deathbed, her lipstick was laying there beside her in the hospital room. Like, she didn't go anywhere without her lipstick. So I have lipstick for her. And, like, my grandmother also wore the same perfume her entire life. So I have her perfume for her. I know some of my ancestors really liked oranges, so I give them oranges. You know, stuff like that. And when it comes to offerings, some traditions are different. If your tradition's different, you know, I'm sorry, but generally, the way I know and I was raised, that it's very taboo to eat or drink any of your offerings. Okay, that's theirs, not yours. Once you offer, it is no longer yours. And that is akin to inviting someone over for dinner and then sitting down and eating off of their plate. It's just rude and disrespectful, kind of. So you really don't do that. Some traditions do. Some traditions, they feast with their dead and they eat the offerings. I guess it just depends on what you believe and you feel in your tradition. Personally, I don't think you should do that. When it comes to serving them, like sharing a meal with them, they should always be served first, the first serving. This is why you have your bowl and your plate and everything for your ancestors. If you cook a dinner or you eat something that you know they really enjoyed in life, like when I make something, like I have my grandmother's recipe book, and when I make one of her recipes that she made for me all the time, like I make sure I give her, they get the first serving. Okay, the first portion. Like if I make her meatloaf, or if I make her potato soup, or whatever she ate. Or on holidays, especially holidays, you make sure you feast with your ancestors. But they always get the first serving. Okay, you serve them, and you never want to put salt in any of the food or offerings you're giving to your ancestors. Some people disagree with this, but I don't know how, because salt repels spirits. Everybody knows this, okay? Salt is a repellent to spirits. That's why you use it for cleansing. It's why you use it for protection. It's why you use it for all this shit, because spirits do not like salt. They do not like it. They're, yeah, salt, yeah. They don't like it. It repels them. So you kind of want to refrain from salt in offerings to your spirits. Don't give them salt, because they're not going to like it, okay? So if you're sharing a dinner or a feast or a meal with your ancestors or your spirits, they get the first serving. Try not to put salt in the dish, okay, like as you're cooking it. Don't add a lot of extra salt or anything. If you want salt in it, you give them their serving, and then you go back and you put salt in it for yourself and your family or whatever. Try not to give them stuff with salt. Obviously, pictures. You want pictures of your family and relatives on your ancestor altars. Please, and oh God, it's so important that I can't stress this, okay? I'm going to pause here, so this really, everyone gets this, okay? And this is pretty much across the board, no matter what your tradition is in every culture. Never, ever, ever have an image of a living person on your ancestor altar. Okay? If it's like a group picture, like a family picture, and there's people in that picture that are still alive, don't use that picture. I don't care if it's the only picture you have of your ancestor that died or something. If there is someone in the picture with them that is alive, never, ever, ever put them on your ancestor altar. It is called mingling the living with the dead, and we don't do that. That is very, very, very taboo, and that's pretty much across the board, universal. Like, everybody knows this, okay? No matter what tradition, no matter what country you come from, and you do not commingle the living with the dead. Alright, to place an image of a living person among the dead is to basically curse them. To basically say they are going to be amongst the dead very soon, because you've already put them there. Okay, so never put living people on your ancestor altar. Make sure there are no living people in your images, on your pictures. Now, some people are going to come back and they're going to say, I don't know my ancestors. I don't know anyone that died. I was adopted. I don't know my family. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing. I have nothing. I don't know what they liked. I don't have pictures. Nothing. You can still work with your ancestors, okay? All you need is a white candle and a glass of water, and they will come. And probably flowers. Flowers are always good. as an honoring and an offering. Even think about it, you know, when you go to the graveyard and you visit a grave, you take flowers. Okay, the dead like flowers. So flowers are always good across the board for like any ancestor, any spirit, any dead. Flowers are good. So if you don't know nothing about your history, you can still work with your ancestors. White candle, a glass of water, and white flowers. Okay, and they will come. And you can also, a little trick you can do is if you really want this, like, something to focus on, or like something, and I even do this. I have several ancestors on there, but I still do this. You can always use a blank picture frame. Okay, get you a picture frame from the dollar store and take the picture out of it. So it's just a blank frame. And you can always use that on your ancestor altar to represent all of your unknown ancestors. Okay, that's for them. That represents them. That's always a good thing to do. So if you don't know anything about your history, your ancestors, anything, you can always just use a blank photo frame. Because none of us know all of our ancestors. Okay, and another, God, this is my longest video ever, guys. Look at this shit. I'm going to try and end this quick, because probably nobody's going to watch this. It's really long. Another little rule when it comes to spirits, and a lot of traditions believe this way, that spirits live on the ground. Okay, so if you can, it is generally recommended and good to have your offerings and your altars actually on the floor. Okay, but a lot of us can't do that. Like, I have pets, okay? And yeah, spirits eat off the floor, but so do my dogs. So I gotta put my stuff up, and it's perfectly fine. But if you have to put your stuff up, you can't put it on the floor. You still want to pour libations on the floor for them. By libations, I mean either spirits or water. Every morning when I get up and I have a prayer that I say to my ancestors and I honor them, I do the 4 directions with water, and I pour it on the ground in every direction, and I go in a circle. Get out of there. So yeah, you always, even if you're working with a different kind of spirit, not your ancestors, whatever spirit you're working with, they live on the ground. They're on the floor. Okay, so you always kind of want to honor them and venerate them by pouring libations on the floor. Unless you have hardwood floors, you probably don't want to, unless it's a clear spirit, like vodka or something like that, you probably don't want to pour your libation, like spirits, on the floor, because it'll like stain it, obviously. Common sense. But water, you can definitely do water. I have carpet, and I pour water every day around my altar, the 4 directions, and honor my ancestors, and I give them libations every day, and I pour it on the floor. So yeah, I think that'll end this video. We're just about at an hour. So any questions, you know, leave your comments or whatever. Like, subscribe, share.